Hi everyone, my name is Chase Palmieri. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Credder Inc. and this is going to be a quick product demo of Credder's Enterprise API. And so here we are at Credder.com, which first launched in 2019 and has since become the world's largest news review platform, with content reviews from verified journalists and the general public creating credibility scores for many of the world's articles, authors, and outlets. And when you come to your profile here at Credder, clicking over to your profile, if you have Enterprise API access, you can click over to Credder Score Reports. And this is a really useful software suite for anyone in the advertising ecosystem. Specifically, we're working with brand advertisers, ad agencies, and ad tech companies. And what you can do here is you can create an Excel spreadsheet with the column of URLs that you would like to have scored for their credibility, a list of keywords that you would like to match for, and a list of keywords that you'd like to block for. You can also below create custom weighting for these keyword matches and blocks. So for this, we'll just say, okay, we want a 5% positive weighting for every keyword that we match and a 10% downgrade for every block keyword that we identify within an article or a website that we're vetting for our potential ad campaign. Then you simply click here to upload your list of URLs. I have a list of 120 or so URLs ready to go here, a mix of articles and websites. And then you simply click Run Report. Once you do that, it will jump you over to your All Reports page, where you have a list of all of your previous Excel spreadsheets and URLs that you ran. And as you can see there, we've already completed the vetting for that specific spreadsheet, and it's labeled as newest. You can then simply click to download this Credder Score Report, and we'll open that up right now. And so what we did is we took a list of URLs in no particular order that, in this example, let's say I am an advertiser like Nike or Adidas, and I'm looking for the highest quality inventory to make sure my ad placements are appearing next to. So what we have here now is we have ranked all of that inventory from most credible and brand safe at the top of the rankings here to least credible and highest brand risk at the bottom, with a ton of useful information that actually helps you understand exactly why the Credder score, our 0 to 100% score, came out the way it did. So again, most importantly here we have ranking, because we have now showed you what your premium inventory is and what your inventory that perhaps is not worth advertising on at all is. And we at Credder recommend only advertising on scores that have a 60% or higher Credder score. Because again, what Credder is doing is measuring consumer trust in any particular article or website for the purposes of increasing an ad campaign's conversion rates, because studies show that advertising on credible news and content and information websites actually increases click-through rates by 143%. This is somewhat intuitive if you think about this in your own life. If you trust an article or a website that you're reading, you're going to be more trusting and likely to engage with the ad placement that is appearing on that page. And so Credder has now made that easier than ever to do, and you can vet articles, websites in any language instantly. So the way that this works is when we have a critic score, which is reviews made up of verified journalists on the Credder.com platform, or a public score from the general public, when we have one or more of these scores available, we will feature that as the recommended Credder score here in this column. If for some reason we don't have a particular website or article rated by real human reviewers, that is when our AI software, which is trained up on our proprietary database of content reviews, that will actually crawl the article or the website and generate a credibility score instantly. And so that's what we did in this case here, where we see a 92% for this Globo article, a Brazilian news outlet, whereas we have many other critic and public scores available for many of these other outlets. What you'll see here is the weighted average score. So for example, we have an 87% for The Verge from verified journalists rating the outlet and an 82% from the general public. The weighted average score simply takes into account the volume of reviews and the rating for both of these scores and comes out with a weighted average. So again, if you want to direct your ad campaign dollars based on just critic score, you could, just public score, you could, a weighted average score, you could. But all of that becomes tied into the final Credder score here, along with the keyword matching and weighting. You'll remember we attributed a +5 weighting for any keyword match and a -10 for any keyword block. So what you'll see here is we run a tally. We'll show you how many of those keywords in each article or website were identified, and we'll add the additional 5% weighting. So here you'll see we got 3 of the keywords we were trying to look for: adventure, travel, and airlines. We got 3 of those at 5% positive weighting each. That gave us a +15% boost, which is what shows up in the final Credder score here. In this case, for that particular article, we did not have any blocked keywords found, but you'll see here on this one below that we do. We have a 2 blocked keywords found: infection and disease, that we were trying to avoid for the specific inventory. That gave us a -20 deranking, which again shows up in that final recommended Credder score. If we keep going here, you'll see that we have some other really interesting ways to help target and filter your ad inventory, again, for the purposes of your pre-bid campaign planning and media planning. So the topics found here is really useful if you're trying to make sure you're showing up on technology sites or any kind of news and information sites that discuss different topics, whether you want to show up alongside sports content, science, media, health, entertainment, international news versus US focused news. We also have our review tags, again, because Credder is a mix of human content reviews and AI software that can operate at scale. When it comes to the human content reviews, we can actually pull out these specific review tags that our reviewer community has identified for each article or website. So if you wanted to avoid, for example, surface level content, you could do so. If you wanted to specifically target investigative journalism, you could do so, or balanced journalism, you could do so. So these review tags just become even more identifying ways for you to target your ad spend. We also feature article sentiment. So if this is specifically for articles, so some of these here are news outlets. But if you have an article, our article sentiment AI model will tell you whether the sentiment of the piece of content was positive, negative, or neutral, so that if you want to appear only on kind of feel-good, positive content, you could do so. We also identify political leaning, right now just for articles, but coming soon for outlets as well. And this tells you whether the political leaning or bias of a specific piece of content was right, left, center, or non-political. So that, again, if you wanted to, for example, target just center or non-political content and sources, you could now do so. And we also feature emotional category for articles. So if an article's content was written to incite fear or anger or excitement or motivation, we have a list of the emotional categories available, and we can identify those, again, as another way for you to target your ad spend. And when you put all of this together, you have a really incredible kind of never before usable way for an advertiser or an ad agency or an ad tech company to evaluate the brand safety, quality, and credibility of any article or website in any language instantly for the purposes of increasing the brand safety and return on ad spend for their next campaign. This, just to be clear, is the client dashboard. So this is a kind of user-friendly way for a non-technical marketer to pull together a list of URLs and quickly gain insight into the quality of that content and those sources. But just to be clear, we also do have Credder's Enterprise API, which has an enormous amount of data points available, allowing you to go even further with your targeting. So you could target, for example, based on also read time or word count or the date that an article was published. So a lot of other ways that a advertiser could get incredibly specific and nuanced with their targeting capabilities. So that's a really quick look at Credder's client dashboard, which is now available for any of our customers that have Enterprise API access. And feel free to email any questions to me at chase@credder.com or visit enterprise.credder.com to learn more. Thank you.